Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, picture this. We're almost like at a pre-flight press conference for something really groundbreaking.
Right, setting the scene.
Exactly. We're diving into the vision of someone known just as Freeman and this big concept he calls legacy.
So the big question is, who is this Freeman, and what exactly is legacy?
That's it. It's about understanding not just a topic, but maybe more of a philosophy of action he's inviting us into. So get comfortable. We're inviting you right into this briefing with us. Think of it as your pre-flight check for, well, a pretty unique exploration.
And our mission for today.
It's really to unpack the nature of legacy, as its Captain Freeman describes it, and to figure out what it really means to take the controls.
Take the controls. Interesting phrasing already.
It is, isn't it? And we start right with how Freeman introduces himself. It really sets a different tone from the get-go.
Okay, how does he put it?
He's very direct. He says, I am Freeman. I'm not a guru, not a professor, not a stage celebrity.
So pushing back against those typical expert labels immediately. No easy answers expected here, then.
Seems like it. He's distancing himself, from people who might just offer performative wisdom or something.
Makes sense. And his motivation. Why step up?
Well, he explains he's simply someone who realized the old system no longer works.
A lot of people feel that way.
Right. And instead of sitting there complaining, I decided to carve a path with my own hands.
So it's about action, not just commentary. Recognizing a problem and actually doing something.
Exactly. It's not about being some academic or, a big personality. It's about seeing a breakdown and building something new himself.
So, okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah.
How does that self-description immediately set a different tone for what we're about to explore?
Well, it frames legacy not as a product delivered by an expert, but as a path forged by someone who just decided to act. It feels more grounded, more urgent maybe.
Yeah, less like a lecture, more like an expedition led by someone who's already cutting through the jungle.
Right. Which naturally leads to the question, okay, if you built this path, are you the creator of legacy?
The owner, the inventor.
And Freeman's response is really powerful here. He says, I'm the captain of this ship, but the journey's not mine, it's yours.
Wow. Okay, so immediate handover.
Total shift of ownership right from the start. He's steering, maybe, but the experience, the responsibility, that belongs entirely to you, the participant. He says legacy wasn't born to be some shiny digital product sitting on a shelf.
Okay, so not just something you buy and consume.
No. He calls it an open cockpit, where the moment you step in, you realize you're holding real controls. You move, you risk, you decide.
An open cockpit. I like that. It implies immediate agency and risk, too.
Definitely risk.
Yeah.
How does that immediate shift of ownership, that open cockpit idea, connect with the whole Web3 ethos we hear so much about, decentralization and empowerment?
Oh, it connects perfectly. I mean, Web3 is fundamentally about self-custody, right? Individual sovereignty, permissionless action. You hold the keys, you make the calls.
No central authority to bail you out or tell you what to do.
Exactly. And Freeman's philosophy just mirrors that directly. He's essentially saying, look, this isn't some guided tour with safety rails. It's a real expedition, hands-on. And when he mentions real controls and, crucially, no simulator to save you when turbulence hits.
Yeah, that part stood out.
He's tapping right into the core of decentralized systems. You are responsible for your keys, your assets, your choices. It's a world away from, traditional platforms where some company manages everything for you.
A stark contrast, yeah. So, okay, we've got Freeman as the captain, not the guru. The journey is ours. But what is this journey? What is legacy itself?
Right. Let's get to the core definition. What exactly is legacy?
He defines it as an immersive experience about blockchain and Web3. Pretty straightforward start.
Okay. But immersive how?
Well, that's where he immediately pivots to what it isn't and then what it is. He says, not to entertain you with easy promises, but to transform you through impact.
Impact, not entertainment.
Okay. And not to make you memorize acronyms like exam vocabulary, but to put you to claim power in practice.
That's a big difference from traditional learning, isn't it? It's all about doing, applying, claiming power, not just absorbing information.
Totally. And he uses this really strong analogy he calls legacy both map and mirror.
Map and mirror? How so?
Well, the map part is clear. It shows you flight routes, the possibilities, the pathways of Web3.
Okay, the guidance aspect.
But the mirror.
Yeah.
That's where it gets intense. It forces you to confront your own reflection when something goes wrong.
Oof. So it reflects your mistakes back at you, your weaknesses.
Seems like it.
Right.
What's the significance of that, especially in a field like Web3 that moves so fast and can be pretty unforgiving?
Well, that mirror idea is fascinating because in Web3, your actions, they often leave a permanent trace, right? On blockchain.
Immutable, yeah.
Exactly. So a mistake isn't just, oops, I learned something. It can be public lasting. The mirror isn't just for quiet self-reflection. It might be reflecting the very real, very permanent consequences of your actions in this digital space.
Which forces a whole different level of personal accountability.
Absolutely. And then he says, it's hard training because in the skies of Web3, there's no time for manuals. Either you learn to fly or the crash is yours.
No time for manuals.
Wow.
It highlights that direct, almost brutal feedback loop in decentralized systems. You can't just read the book. You have to actually fly the plane or, well, face the consequences.
That is intense. This hard training, no manuals approach.
Yeah.
What do you think that actually looks like inside Legacy? Is it just throwing people in the deep end?
Well, based on his focus on impact and practical power, I doubt it's hours of lectures. It has to be experiential.
Right. Less classroom.
More flight simulator. Or maybe even bypassing the simulator stage altogether. Perhaps you're immediately tasked with real actions. Maybe executing smart contracts, deploying something small, navigating actual token scenarios with real stakes, even if small.
Potentially, yeah. Maybe problem-solving challenges where a wrong move has a clear on-chain result. That's how you learn fast. That's how you build the muscle memory you need in an environment that doesn't pause for you to look things up.
It really forces you to internalize the skills, doesn't it? Which brings us to the name itself, legacy. Why that word? It feels heavy, significant.
It really does. It makes you think about inheritance, endurance. Why did he call it legacy?
He explains it very clearly. He says, because what we're building here is not fashion, it's inheritance.
Fashion versus inheritance. Okay, I see the contrast. Fleeting trend versus something lasting.
Exactly. He doubles down. Legacy is not hype, not a viral trend, not a quick, rich scheme. It's the absolute opposite of all that noise you sometimes see online.
So setting it apart from the speculative bubbles.
Completely. And then he defines legacy in this specific context. He says, legacy is what remains after you learn, decide, and act.
After the action. The residue of your choices.
Yes. It's the trail you leave in the sky, the mark no one can erase from the blockchain.
That phrase again, the mark no one can erase from the blockchain. For listeners maybe used to how easily things can disappear online, how does the blockchain actually enable that kind of indelible mark? What makes it suited for a lasting legacy?
That's such a key point, isn't it?
It really is, because on regular websites or platforms, things can be edited, deleted, censored by whoever's in charge.
Sure.
But a blockchain, well, it's designed differently. It's a distributed ledger, meaning it's copied across many computers. And it's immutable, meaning once something is recorded and verified.
It's basically set in stone.
Pretty much. It's cryptographically secured. Tampering with it is incredibly difficult, bordering on impossible in well-established networks. So when Freeman says a mark no one can erase, he's not just being poetic.
He means it technically.
Yes. Your actions, your creations, your decisions, if they're recorded on-chain, they become part of this permanent, verifiable, shared history. It really redefines accountability and impact in the digital world.
So the name legacy isn't just aspirational, it's functional. He says it's called legacy because it doesn't want you to just learn. It wants you to leave a mark.
Right. It elevates the whole thing. It's not just about getting knowledge into your head. It's about putting something lasting out into the world. You're not a student, you're a builder.
A builder of something that persists.
Yeah.
Which is quite a proposition.
Absolutely. It flips the script from just consuming information to actively creating, from watching to participating. Leaving that mark makes the whole idea of personal legacy feel very concrete, very real within this digital context. It's about what you contribute to that shared, unchangeable record.
Okay, so with all this talk of hard training, open cockpits, leaving indelible marks, you, listening, might be wondering, all right, what does this actually mean for me? If I decide to board this flight, what should I expect?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? For anyone thinking of joining, what can they expect? What's the reality of the experience?
Well, Freeman is brutally honest about it. No sugarcoating. First, they can expect discomfort because here there is no safety net.
Discomfort. Okay, not relaxation.
No, it's a frontier, not a spa. Second, they can expect real training with no emergency manual hidden under the seat.
Back to that no manuals idea. Active, hands-on, no shortcuts.
Exactly. And he adds explicitly, They can expect to fall and get back up, to fail and learn, until the controls finally respond naturally to their fingers.
So failure is part of the process, expected even. It's about persistence until it becomes second nature. Like learning to ride a bike, maybe, but with higher stakes.
Kind of. And after all that discomfort, all that falling and getting up, what's the payoff? He delivers the ultimate promise, and they can expect sovereignty.
Sovereignty, that's a powerful word. How is that achieved? How does this training lead to sovereignty?
He explains that each panel is more than a lesson. It's a challenge that measures whether you can step out of the audience and into the cockpit.
So every part of the experience is a test of readiness to take control.
That's the idea. It's not just passive learning. Each piece is designed to push you towards taking charge. He goes on. Each route is more than theory. It's a crossing where your identity will be tested.
Your identity, not just your skills.
Right. It suggests this isn't just about technical ability. It's about personal transformation. The challenges force you to confront your own. Maybe your reliance on others, your fear of failure, your old habits.
That resonates deeply with the broader Web3 idea of sovereignty, doesn't it? For people already in this space, how does that concept go beyond just controlling your crypto assets?
That's a great point. It's much bigger than just finance, right?
Absolutely. Sovereignty in Web3, ideally, is about owning your data, your digital identity, your online creations, your decisions, all without needing permission from some big platform.
Taking back control from intermediaries.
Exactly. So when Freeman talks about identity being tested, it feels like it connects directly to shedding that passive Web2 consumer role where platforms dictate your digital life. Here, you're forced into active choices about your presence, your security, your interactions. It cultivates that mindset. You are the ultimate authority over your digital self. That's a huge power shift back to the individual.
And the result, the ultimate outcome he describes, it's profound. In the end, you won't just know more about blockchain.
It's not just about knowledge accumulation.
You'll be someone different in the cockpit of your own life because you'll no longer accept others flying for you.
Wow. That's the core of it, becoming the pilot of your own life, not just in Web3, but everywhere, taking responsibility.
Making your own calls, navigating your own path, that's sovereignty.
Which brings us right back around, doesn't it? It leaves that clarifying question. So legacy isn't really about Freeman himself, is it? It's about us, the participants.
And Freeman's answer is just exactly, crystal clear.
No ambiguity there.
None. He circles back to his intro. I'm no stage hero. I didn't come here to collect applause.
Reinforcing that captain, not celebrity idea.
Precisely. I'm just the voice that clears the way and sometimes the warning that shouts before the crash. He's the guide, maybe the lookout, but he's not flying the plane for you.
He points out the path, warns about the pitfalls.
But you have to do the flying. He makes the central message totally explicit. Legacy is you flying.
Not watching someone else fly, not reading about flying, you flying.
Yes. Active, engaged, responsible, and he slams the door on any tendency to blame others. He says no shortcuts, no excuses, no return to the childhood of the system screwed me.
Oof. Direct hit on victim mentality. This is about radical self-responsibility.
Completely. It's a space where you own your outcomes, which leads him to the final unavoidable question he poses, the real entry requirement. Here, the only question that matters is, do you have the courage to take the controls or not?
That really boils it all down, doesn't it? It's a direct challenge to your will, your initiative. Are you ready to actually own it? And, this raises such an important point for all of us listening, I think. It highlights that difference between just passively consuming information, maybe reading articles or listening to discussions like this one, and truly taking ownership, actually stepping up to learn, to build, to act. How often do we kind of wait to be guided? Expecting to be a passenger.
When we could be the pilot?
Exactly. When we have that potential to navigate things ourselves, even the complicated, turbulent stuff. Freeman's whole philosophy just forces you to ask, am I really ready to grab those controls? Not just in Web3, but in my career, my life. Am I ready to move from just watching to actually doing?
It's a profound choice he puts right in front of us. This invitation, this boarding into legacy. And he leaves us with this really direct statement.
What's that?
Now you know who I am, and more importantly, you know who you'll need to become to fly this journey.
So it's not just about understanding him, it's about understanding the transformation required in yourself.
Precisely. From here on, he says, there's no audience, only the cockpit. The controls are right there.
The stage is set.
And the very first choice, the one that determines everything that follows, is yours. Do you step in as a passenger, content to watch, or as a pilot, ready to fly?
What will you choose?